Hello and welcome to the Unshakable Co-Parent Podcast. I am Sarah Komoto, your host, and today I'm going to be talking about something a little bit different. And I'm sure you can relate. It's something that happened to me earlier today, not that long ago. It's actually two things that happened, but it's to do with reacting on impulse and not really holding yourself to how or to a standard that you like to hold yourself. And I know that you can probably fully relate to this because I know, when you're trying to co-parent, quote marks, we don't always conduct ourselves and behave in a way that we would like or would want to, especially when we're triggered. So tune in, grab yourself a cuppa or a wine, and let's get to it. So earlier today, I was on a training with one of my mentors, and this particular mentor, she really fires me up, gets me activated into my energy, into my power, and helps me realign and focus. Now, obviously, it's not just in her trainings and what she says and what she does, but it's how I receive it as well. Like, I'm somebody who I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of videos and a lot of trainings. I'm always learning something new. I'm always deepening my understanding of certain topics. So I'm into, essentially personal development on all different kinds of areas. So I was on this call, I was fired up, amped up, really feeling the energy. So it started off my day really well. Like I was on this high vibe, feeling energized, feeling very activated, very ready for my next level, I guess. You may resonate with this feeling of when you feel like something is coming, something is going to change. I don't know what it is, but something is coming and it's for my greatest good. It's to help me with my growth or my development or whatever it may be. Either way, it is something that is positive, that is going to be added to my life. Or I'm going to be shown the way because I might have had a question about how something was going to unfold. And I may have got some kind of indication as to, okay, some kind of clarity that this is how this is going to unfold. This is how this is going to happen for you. So anyway, day started off like that. Great day, getting on with it, doing what I needed to do today. I've been tired. I'm run down. Something you could probably resonate with as a busy mum. I've got a 3-year-old who brings back all kinds of germs from kinder. So we pick up every single cold. She comes into our bed in the middle of the night. So sleep hasn't been great. So that's still been going on now almost 2 months. But with both of us, my husband and myself, too exhausted to put her back in her bed. So it's become a bad habit. Anyway, we're not talking about that today. So I'm tired. I'm run down. I'm getting sick. I had an early call on Monday for the Unshakeable Co-Parent program. So I had to show up for the amazing women there, which is awesome because when I'm in those sessions, I'm fully there and fully present. But it takes a lot of my energy. So this training with my mentor came at the right time. But then school pickup, and if anyone knows what school pickup's like, it's erratic, it's crazy. There's cars everywhere, there's parents everywhere, there's kids everywhere. So my husband's driving, turning into the road where the school is, and this other woman in the car is coming from the other direction and also going to turn in and speeding up so that she can overtake us, only to stand in the line or stay parked in the line because nobody's going anywhere. It's like that every single day. But she was speeding up and my husband just kept going. And she was, kicking off. I could see the mouth. And, I am not very proud, but I was just like, what the fuck do you think you're doing? Fuck you, bitch. Yeah, not my proudest moment. I didn't say it to her, but as we were turning into the road, if she can lip read, she would have heard or would have at least sussed out what I was saying because she was saying some stuff as well. But it wasn't my finest moment. But you know what? In those 5 seconds where I was like, fuck you, bitch, what the fuck do you think you're doing? I felt really good. It did feel good. It's not what I wanted to say. It's not how I want to conduct myself. It's not how I want to deal with people. It was something that was not very important. who was first, who wasn't first. It wasn't very important who was in the wrong, who was in the right, but it's acting on, or rather reacting to something. Now, normally, when I am topped up, feeling high vibe, I'm energized, I've slept well, I've been eating well and exercising, basically looking after myself mentally and emotionally and physically, I do not behave in that way. Yeah. And you may resonate with this. Like when you're tired and exhausted, we have a shorter fuse. We are not as present with our children. We we are not as patient. We may say or do things that aren't really in character or not really how we want to react, not really showing up as our best selves. So in that moment, and I was fully aware as the words were spilling out of my mouth, no, Sarah, this is not how you want to be. But, it did feel good in the moment. And then afterwards, I was kind of reflecting on it, someone was going to put people in their place when they need to be put in their place. But again, that's not really the way to do it or go about it. So, yeah, it is not my finest moment, but it made me really sit and think of, why did you do that, Sarah? Why? What was the urge? It's not really a big deal, but I'm always self reflecting. We need to have this self awareness about ourselves so that we can understand why we react or not react to certain things. Why do we really fire up with certain triggers, I guess? Why do we get emotional? Why do we shut down? Why anything? So I know for me, I'm getting sick, I'm exhausted, all the things. It was like 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm more of a morning person. As the evening gets on, I'm getting more tired. I don't know what your energy levels are like, but I'm very aware of my body and my energy. I have my peak energy in the mornings. That's why I get a lot of my work done then. A lot of my trainings and videos and creativity, and then the afternoon I start to peter off. So yeah, not my finest moment. So I would love to know, like, send me a DM at Unshakeable Co-parenting, whether you resonate with this, because it wasn't my finest hour. Yeah, it was poor behavior. I was getting into someone else's energy. She was kicking off. It was just like a few seconds. I kicked off back. I bit. And that's not how I want to react. And you may do that with your co-parent. You may do that with other people. You may get really defensive or triggered, and react in a way that isn't really how you would want to react. And then end up kicking yourself and beating yourself up after for not conducting yourself in, an appropriate way. I'm using air quotes here. So not that I am beating myself up. I'm not. I've moved on. But it was an interesting observation how when we are not doing our best and looking after ourselves, how we can slip into this kind of energy of, I guess, low energy, low vibe, low energy, low vibe, maybe kind of negative. And then you start attracting these things to you, these situations or these interactions. And, I'm all about keeping my energy high. I have to keep my energy high to support myself, to support my family, to support the women I work with. And I actually like keeping myself topped up and always working towards growing and, being better as a human in the world. Anyway, reacting when we're not feeling our best is not really the way to go about things. I know that we can always deal with situations in a better way when we are looking after ourselves. So I guess the point of what I'm saying in a roundabout way is when you are energized, when you are looking after yourself, because it's so important as mum anyway, when you have other people who are depending on you, so important that self-care is number one. If you're sick, rest. I know it's hard, especially if you're a single parent. I know I've been there. Everything falls on your shoulders. Everything comes down on you, and there are no breaks. There are no days off. I know, fully aware. But however you can top yourself up, whatever that is for you, you really need to focus on keeping yourself energized. On the call a couple of days ago, on the group call, in that container, one of the mums, when she gets stressed and anxious, or doesn't want the ruminating thoughts to crop up, she cleans. Now that's sounds awesome because you're going to have a clean house, but there is never a moment to sit in those feelings and sit in those emotions and address them and deal with them as they come up. And when we don't deal with them as they come up, guess what happens? They come and bite you in the butt over and over again at different times, maybe when you are tired, when you are exhausted, when you are drained. So when we can address these moments and sit in the uncomfortable, that's when we have these breakthroughs, and that's when we start to get unstuck and break these patterns of unhealthy coping mechanisms. And I know there's somebody listening here who's nodding their head and agreeing and resonating with what I'm saying here. We're not all perfect. We don't want to be perfect. Who wants to be perfect? But as long as we're always striving to deal with our stuff, having that self-awareness, because knowing what you need to do is one thing, doing it is another. Having the information about how to put together the IKEA furniture is one thing, doing it is another. Okay, we need to be applying what we learn. Can't just have information, because information doesn't lead to any kind of change if we don't take action and do something actively out of our comfort zone. Something a bit uncomfortable, something a bit confronting for the greater gain of moving forward in our journeys. Anyway, whoever that was for, I know it will reach your ears. Okay, so please send me a DM over on Instagram if this resonated with you, or with your thoughts or feedback. This was just a very impromptu episode. I wasn't going to do this episode this week, but this thing happened today, and I thought that's very apt, and the message needs to be heard by somebody out there. We need to look after ourselves, because we have humans who are relying on us. We have to look after ourselves even more so when you're having stones thrown at you and fire set around you, and all you're trying to do is put them out left, right, and center. Okay, so if this episode resonated with you, please share with anyone who you think it will help or resonate with. Share it with 3 friends, because sharing is caring. Follow the podcast. Leave a review if you could do. That would really help me out so that this reaches more people. I have a free mini course at the moment. DM me the word reclaim, RECLAIM. This is for reclaiming your peace with an art-proof home, where I go through basically my strategy or strategies for dealing with high conflict co-parenting, everything that goes with it, from the communication with your co-parent, from protecting and supporting your children, and from getting into your confidence and stepping into your power. So basically becoming unshakable as fuck. Okay. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. I'm here with you. You are a divine woman. You have a place in this world. You got this fire within you. Let's go light that shit up. Okay? Take care of yourself. Love to you all. See you soon. Bye.